You know how some people are book smart, straight A's, perfect test scores, can recite facts from textbooks, but can't read a room? Then there's street smart, the ability to navigate danger, read situations, know who to trust and who to run from. Then there's emotionally smart, empathy, self-awareness, the ability to hold space for yourself and others. But there's another kind, rarer, harder to see, harder to earn. Traumatic intelligence. You don't get it from school. You don't get it from a workshop. You don't get it from reading self-help books or listening to podcasts. You get it from surviving something that tried to break you. Here's the thing about traumatic intelligence. Most people who have it don't even know it exists. They think they're broken. They think they're too sensitive. They think something is wrong with them. Nothing is wrong with you. You're just smart in a way that most people will never understand. So here are 10 signs. If they hit close to home, you already know. Let's go.
Sign 1, you can read people instantly. Not because you're psychic, not because you read a book on body language, because you had to. You learned early that words don't always match intentions. People say, "I'm fine," but their jaw is tight. People say, "I love you," but their hands are fists. People smile while they're sharpening knives. You see the mismatch, a slight change in tone, a micro-expression that flashes for a fraction of a second, a hand that doesn't quite relax, eyes that don't match the smile. You see what others miss, not because you're special, because your survival depended on it. Other people walk into a room and see faces. You walk into a room and see weather, calm, storm, danger, safety. And here's the exhausting part, you can't turn it off. You're always reading, always scanning, always knowing more than you want to know. That's sign 1. Sign 2, you're extremely calm in crises. When everyone else panics, you get quiet. When the chaos hits, your mind slows down. Everyone's running around screaming. You're standing still, listing options in your head. This isn't bravery. This isn't heroism. It's training. You've been through worse. Your nervous system already survived the fire. Now smaller fires don't scare you. People call you unshakable. They call you the one they want in a crisis. They don't know that you learned to be still while everything burned around you. The paradox is this: small things can overwhelm you. A rude email, a passive-aggressive text, someone being late without apologizing. But a real emergency, a real threat, a moment when someone else's life is on the line, that's when you become the calmest person in the room. Because your brain already knows what to do. It's been here before. Sign 3, you see patterns other people don't. You notice the small thing that leads to the big thing. The domino before it falls, the crack before it breaks. You notice when someone is about to leave before they say goodbye. You notice when a situation is about to turn before anyone else feels the shift. Your brain got rewired early. It's always scanning for threats, always connecting dots, always running simulations of what happens next. This makes you an incredible strategist, an amazing problem solver. The person who says, "I told you so," without actually saying it because you're tired of being right and no one listening. But here's the cost. Your brain never stops. You're always 3 steps ahead, always anticipating, always preparing for the worst. Exhausting? Yes. Useful? Absolutely. Sign 4, you're fiercely independent. Asking for help feels wrong. Not because you're proud, not because you think you're better than everyone, because you learned that help doesn't always come. You learned that depending on people means getting let down. You learned that the only person you can truly count on is yourself. You carry your own weight, and then you carry everyone else's. You're the person people call when they're in trouble, when they need money, when they need advice, when their world is falling apart. But when you're in trouble, your phone stays silent. You don't trust easily. Not because you're cold, not because you don't have feelings, because trust burned you. More than once, more than you want to admit. So you built walls. You learned to be enough. You learned to need no one. And it works, mostly.
Sign 5, you have dark humor. You laugh at things that make other people uncomfortable. Funerals, disasters, the worst moments of your own life. Not because you're cruel, not because you lack empathy, because you had to. The alternative was crying and never stopping. Dark humor is a pressure valve, a way to air out the room without opening the windows. A way to look at the worst thing that ever happened to you and say, well, that was absurd. People who haven't been through it don't get it. They think you're being inappropriate. They think you don't care. People who have been through it, they laugh with you because they know. If you can't laugh, you'll shatter, so you laugh. It's not disrespect, it's survival. Sign 6, you're hyper aware of your environment. You know where the exits are. You notice when someone changes their posture. You feel tension in the room before anyone speaks. You know which strangers are safe. You know when to leave. You know when to stay.
This isn't anxiety. Well, it started as anxiety. Now it's instinct. Your nervous system is calibrated differently. It's not broken. It's just tuned to a different frequency. You notice the car that's been following you for 3 turns. You notice the person standing too close in line. You notice the tone of voice that shifts from friendly to something else. People call you paranoid. They don't understand. You're not paranoid. You're prepared. There's a difference. Paranoid is seeing danger that isn't there. Prepared is seeing danger before everyone else does.
Sign 7. You feel things deeply, but you hide it. You're not numb. You're the opposite. You feel everything. Other people's pain, other people's joy, the weight of the room, the unsaid words hanging in the air. You feel so much that you had to build walls just to function. If you felt everything all the time, you'd never get out of bed. So you learn to hide it. A flat expression, a neutral voice, a face that gives nothing away. People think you're cold. They think you don't care. They have no idea. The amount of energy it takes to keep the walls standing, the constant effort of feeling the storm while showing calm. When you do let someone in, really in, they get access to a depth most people never reach. You love harder, you care more, you're more loyal than anyone they've ever met. But they have to earn it, and most won't try.
Sign 8. You're a master of self-control. You learned that losing control is dangerous, that showing emotion can be weaponized, that vulnerability is not always safe. So you practiced. Every outburst you swallowed, every tear you blinked back, every time you wanted to scream and didn't. You became an expert at composure, at saying the right thing, at keeping your face neutral when your insides are on fire. Now your control looks effortless. People compliment you on how poised you are, how professional, how together. They don't see the effort. They don't see the exhaustion. Self-control is not the absence of feeling, it's the constant management of feeling. And you've been managing for so long that most people would never guess what's underneath.
Sign 9. You can predict how situations will play out. You've been through enough cycles to recognize the loop, the warning signs, the moment when things turn, the pattern that repeats no matter how much you hope it won't. You tell people this is going to happen. They don't believe you. They think you're being negative. They think you're projecting. Then it happens. Exactly how you said it would. Then they ask how you knew. You don't tell them, because the answer is, I've already lived through this, more times than you know. The same arguments, the same betrayals, the same patterns in different bodies, different places, different years. You're not psychic, you're just traumatized. And trauma is an incredible teacher. It shows you exactly what to look for, whether you want to see it or not.
Sign 10. You've done more healing than people will ever see. The version of you that exists today, they didn't get to meet the old you. That person was in pain, constant, crushing, exhausting pain. That person was trying to survive. That person was doing their best with nothing left. That person is still in there somewhere. You carry them with you. And you've done work they'll never see. The hours of therapy, the journal entries you'll never show anyone, the conversations you had with yourself at 3 a.m. when there was no one else to talk to. You sat with memories that should have destroyed you. You've made peace with people who will never apologize. You've forgiven yourself for things that weren't your fault, and you're still here. That's not just survival, that's intelligence. Most people don't understand how much effort it takes to be functional after being broken. They see you smiling and assume you're fine. They don't see the scaffolding holding everything up, the coping mechanisms, the strategies, the constant quiet work of staying upright. You've done more healing than anyone will ever know. And that might be the bravest thing about you.
Traumatic intelligence isn't listed on any resume. No diploma, no certificate, no LinkedIn badge. It's invisible. It's the ability to see darkness and still choose light, to be wounded and still be kind, to know exactly how cruel people can be and still trust anyway, to get knocked down and get back up, not once, every time. Here's what I need you to hear. If these signs felt familiar, if you nodded along, if your chest got tight, if you felt seen, you are not broken. You are not too much. You are not too sensitive. You are not damaged. You're just smart in a way most people will never understand. And that's not a flaw. That's the rarest kind of strength. So if this helped you feel seen, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment with the sign that hit closest to home. And remember, you're not broken. You're just smart. The hardest way, the most earned way. That's traumatic intelligence. Which sign hit closest? Comment the number below. And if this helped you feel seen, share it with someone who needs to hear it.